Welcome back to Copy Concept. Today, we're looking at a 2028 Ford F-Series concept that takes the classic American pickup formula and cranks it way past 11. This thing isn't built to blend in, it's slammed, wide, aggressive, and looks more like a street-legal performance machine than a traditional truck. So let's break it down. Front. Starting up front, this is where the whole attitude of the truck changes. The first thing that grabs you is that massive black honeycomb grille. It's significantly wider and taller than the standard truck look, giving the F-Series an almost intimidating road presence. And Ford's signature oval sits right in the center, surrounded by that deep black mesh. But the grille isn't even the wildest part. Look underneath and you'll see an oversized carbon fiber front splitter sitting ridiculously close to the ground. The splitter stretches almost the entire width of the truck, with aggressive corner extensions that make the front end look ready for a track. The headlights are also heavily redesigned. Instead of a basic lighting signature, this concept uses sharp white LED daytime running lights with subtle purple accents. They're futuristic looking without going full sci-fi. Then you've got the hood. It's heavily sculpted, with raised sections and a dark center section that gives the truck a serious performance vibe. And those fenders? Absolutely massive. They're pushed outward to create an extreme widebody stance, making the F-Series look more like a supercharged street truck than a workhorse. Side. Move around to the side and things get even crazier. This concept sits extremely low, basically eliminating the traditional pickup truck wheel gap. The body is stretched over huge performance wheels, while the front and rear fenders are dramatically widened to give the truck that muscular, planted stance. The wheels themselves are deep dish and aggressively styled, with dark finishes and performance-oriented detailing. You'll also notice the side skirts running almost the entire length of the truck. They're finished in dark carbon fiber style material and visually connect the front splitter to the rear diffuser. The doors remain practical enough for a crew cab layout, but the bodywork around them is anything but ordinary. The side mirrors are also redesigned, and the dark tinted glass gives the cabin a much more aggressive appearance. And here's the crazy part, despite being a full-size American pickup, this concept has the proportions of a custom street racer. It's basically saying, yeah, I'm a truck, but don't expect me to drive like one. Rear. Now let's hit the rear, because this might be the best angle of the entire build. The back gets an extremely wide tailgate with a huge F-150 identity built directly into the design. The Ford badge sits in the center, while the rear lighting uses a sharp vertical LED signature that immediately makes the truck recognizable at night. The rear fenders flare dramatically outward, matching the front and giving the entire truck a perfectly balanced widebody silhouette. And down below is where the real attitude comes out. You've got an enormous carbon fiber style rear diffuser, multiple aerodynamic fins, aggressive corner vents, and quad exhaust outlets integrated into the lower bumper. It doesn't look like a normal pickup anymore. It looks like somebody took an American truck and dropped it into a high-performance body shop with absolutely no budget limit. Interior. Step inside, and the exterior aggression continues. The cabin uses a deep red and black theme with carbon fiber style trim throughout the dashboard and center console. The steering wheel gets a sporty design with red detailing and performance-inspired controls. In front of the driver is a fully digital instrument cluster, while the center of the dashboard features a large vertical touchscreen. The seats are heavily bolstered and finished in premium red leather with black inserts. There's also purple ambient lighting running through the dashboard and doors, adding contrast without turning the cabin into some over-the-top nightclub. The center console is large and driver-focused, with a performance-style shifter, storage areas, cup holders, and additional controls. Basically, the cabin is designed to feel less like a work truck and more like a high-end performance pickup. Rear cabin. And Ford doesn't forget about the people sitting in the back. The rear cabin gets matching red and black sport seats with aggressive bolstering and detailed stitching. The rear center armrest includes integrated cup holders, while the door panels continue the carbon fiber style trim and ambient lighting theme. There's plenty of visual consistency here. The front seats, rear seats, dashboard, doors, and center console all follow the same red, black, and carbon fiber design language. So even though this is a wild concept, it still feels like one complete vehicle rather than a bunch of random modifications thrown together. Price and performance. Now let's talk about the part everybody wants to know about, performance and price. Keep in mind, this is a 2028 concept design, so these numbers are projections for this fictional build, not official Ford specifications. If Ford ever produced something remotely close to this performance-oriented F-Series, I could see a high-performance version targeting roughly 500 to 700 horsepower, depending on the powertrain. With the right engine, transmission, suspension setup, and all-wheel drive system, this thing could potentially deliver seriously quick acceleration for a full-size pickup. And because this concept is designed around an extremely low suspension, massive tires, and aggressive aerodynamic hardware, the focus here isn't just straight-line speed. It's about stance, handling, braking, and overall road presence. As for pricing, a truck this heavily equipped and performance-focused could realistically push well beyond the typical F-Series price range. For this concept, a projected starting point around $80,000 to $100,000 would make sense, with a fully loaded performance version potentially climbing significantly higher. Again, those are estimates for the concept, not an announced 2028 Ford price. And honestly, the bigger question isn't whether Ford could build something like this. It's whether Ford would actually have the guts to put a truck this aggressive into production. Because if they did, this wouldn't just be another F-Series. It would be a completely different kind of American performance truck. And that's what makes this concept so interesting. This is the 2028 Ford F-Series reimagined as a slammed, extreme widebody street machine, combining classic American truck DNA with modern performance styling. Would you actually drive this thing every day, or is it way too insane for the street? Let me know what you think in the comments. This is Copy Concept, and I'll see you in the next one.